Good morning, everyone. Happy Red Friday. Welcome to another episode of Red Friday Reviews. Today I thought I'd discuss a little bit about structure and growth of plants. So cannabis plants, a lot of people don't understand really where they come from, their growth structure, what we're talking about with the liberal budget cuts here in regards to coverage and how that would affect and how that translates. With sativas and indicas, they grow differently. They take longer or shorter to grow. There's more involvement. So hemp doesn't grow the same as an indica plant. Sativa wouldn't grow the same. The structure, the height, the amount of space required to grow these plants. There's so many factors that come into the growth of a plant. And I think a lot of us think cannabis, weed, it's just one thing. It's not. It's like having dogs. It's if you want to compare it that way, you have all different size dogs. They have different nutritional requirements. They have different climates that they function better in. There's a whole lot that goes into it. So when you're talking about a cannabis plant, you have, let's just stick with indica sativa. So an indica plant will grow shorter. It'll take less amount of time to grow. Now the nutrients can fluctuate how much they use and how much they need and require. But your space, so say you're growing indoors, you're going to need less space. Indica plant is a shorter stature plant. The buds are nice and dense, and the yields are generally pretty good on those. So if you're growing an indica plant, you can get that out the door in say 60 days. It's going to cost you less in the way of cultivation or paying somebody to look after the plant. It goes through its growth cycle. Also the amount of food that you're giving it compared to say a sativa plant. So a sativa plant could take 90 days. So now there's more time, more effort. There's more space required because they grow bigger and they stretch more. The branches are usually a lot longer. The buds aren't as dense. Your yields aren't as good. So why am I talking about this? Well, because the cost comparison between those two is completely different and the effects are completely different. So for an indica plant, that's going to be more relaxing, sedative. It's not going to be your energizing and getting going and getting on the move, generally speaking, compared to a sativa plant, which is more energizing, euphoric. It's more creative. It gets you moving, gets you off your butt. So why the comparison and why the difference? Well, because for people with post-traumatic stress disorder, while using an indica plant to medicate with is fantastic for keeping your anxiety down, what happens a lot of times, especially now with the daylight hours and stuff, people are looking for motivation. And where do those come from? Those are your sativa plants. The sativa plants are the ones that give you creative thinking. They kick you in the arse and they make you want to get out and do some stuff, or they make your mind think about what it is you can do. Whereas the indica ones are a lot of times very couch locky, or at least the very least relaxing. So there is a difference. You can't put the same price on everything. And that was a mistake in our system. Now, I'm going to be the first one to say that, you know what, our system is not perfect, but we have one. So instead of going backwards and starting to ruin what we've tried to create here, what we need to do is really understand our system and how the cannabis plant works and how that translates to a medical patient. So what that means, sativa versus indica, now you have something that might cost you, as an indica, cost you $5 to create that plant and to put that to market and get that to the patient. And you know what? The person at the end of the day still has to make some money off that because, you know, they can't just break even every time. And then you have a sativa plant that could cost you $9, $10 to grow. So what's going to happen if things change and they start reducing how much we're going to get reimbursed? It's quality. It's what you can get your hands on. They'll start putting out a lot more indica type cultivars instead of the sativas that most veterans need for increasing your mood and giving you that mood booster. So just a little bit of insight, sativa versus indica, you know, how they grow and how that translates into the reimbursement program for veterans. So that's a big one. So what you're going to see is things changing about your quality of access because, you know, if it costs you so much dollars to make a good quality product and you're trying to cut costs, guess what? Now you're going from top shelf to middle shelf or maybe bottom shelf. I just thought I'd give you a little bit of insight because I know a lot of people are questioning, you know, what does the reduction mean? How does that translate? Well, really easily what it'll do is translate to the amount of access and quality medicine that you can get your hands on. I hope that was helpful, everyone. I don't mean to be Debbie Downer, but it's like we have to get this information out there, and it's a good opportunity to share and also educate. So I hope you have an excellent weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and we'll see you next week.